Thank you very much indeed for joining me this afternoon.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Some interesting comments from Donald Trump suggest there might be a bit of ground shifting going on from his we can sort this out in a day stance.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, the goalposts keep on moving with Donald Trump, and it's a roller coaster for everybody else. But I think clearly that phone call and the aftermath constitutes a win for President Putin. Last week, Donald Trump was all lined up by the Europeans to say that there needed to be a 30-day ceasefire or he'd hit Russia with terrible sanctions. Now, no ceasefire, just negotiations about a ceasefire, no sanctions. So Putin is, I think, successfully doing what Trump said he wouldn't let him do, which is tapping President Trump along, to use President Trump's terms. And the key now is whether he's going to remain engaged and keep America engaged at all in this. I mean, he has said since the interview, since the call with Putin, that he will continue to work on brokering the talks. But he's also said that if something doesn't happen, I'll just back away and they'll have to keep going. And so the level of pressure necessary to keep the parties at the effort at peace is very unbalanced. Lots of risk for Ukraine, not so much pressure on Russia right now.
I was thinking just the other day that we saw during the election campaign, I mean, this is all relative, but we saw a slightly more contained and controlled Donald Trump in that campaign than in the previous one, didn't we? But as president, particularly on some of these very big global issues and issues involving war, his messages have been incredibly mixed. And in the case of Ukraine and Russia, just giving too much away verbally to Putin.
Well, it's completely inept diplomacy if the goal is a Nobel Peace Prize through brokering a Russia-Ukraine peace deal. But that's not the only thing on President Trump's mind. I mean, it's quite clear to me that during their phone call, President Putin talked a lot about the commercial opportunities in Russia for the United States, because Donald Trump spoke about that very explicitly after the phone call. And maybe that's more attractive to him now, doing deals with Putin's Russia commercially, than actually the tough long haul work of delivering a peace negotiation.
As he did with Ukraine.
Indeed.
On minerals,
so he could get another minerals deal out of Russia and just let Ukraine sort of hang in the wind. So it's a really critical moment, I think. Yet again, roller coaster for Europeans and Ukraine. They've got to start all over again to get back to where they thought they were last week, and make sure that President Trump is still willing to deliver arms to Ukraine and, crucially, intelligence to Ukraine, so that there are at least some negotiating cards in Kiev's hand as they go into these negotiations with Putin and his negotiating team. Otherwise, there'll be a huge temptation for the Kremlin just to string this out until the American arms supplies run out, and the pressure really builds on both Ukraine and Europe.
And in the context of what you've just said, hearing the president say, if there isn't any progress, I'm just going to back away, as you mentioned a few moments ago. I mean, that's extraordinarily inept verbally again, isn't it? To say that out loud.
Yeah, I mean, but there's never the whole approach has been sweet talking Putin rather than pressuring him, or almost all of it, and that has been part of the psychology that was evident in Trump's first term too. Although he did, to give him his due, in the first term, maintain sanctions and support for Ukraine.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us today, Sir Adam Thomson, former UK Permanent Representative to NATO.